Good evening. Welcome back to BoomerRexTonight, your nearly daily source for news and politics. Let me introduce our boomer who's cruising for a bruising, Mr. Rex.
Yeah.
Asshole millennial.
I think if we're gonna not let him ask who's playing on the pregame show, he probably gets to do the hand thing.
And I am RisenLadyHeathen. I already told him who's playing. A female millennial. They both eat, sleep, and breathe politics, and I'm learning. We provide you the facts in each of our three perspectives at our literal round table. Let's dig right into the headlines. Tell me about Dolly the Dino.
Oh, it's so sad. Well, we have to go back. So every night, Risen wants to start the show with 10 seconds of silence.
It
And she
allows,
clicks.
if there's any weird background noise, it'll pick it up at the beginning, and if there is an issue, I will be able to pull it out of the audio so that it's not as bad.
I completely understand, and I always give you 5 or 6 seconds of silence, but not always 10. So,
And
anyway.
Goose is not a party to this treaty at all.
So,
Nope, he does his own thing.
no, you're going to see from the stories what a dead news day it was. Oh my God. But anyway, it's occasionally we find a dinosaur with a broken leg, right? And you can say, well, that kept them from hunting and so forth and so on. And you can begin to, on the other hand, we find dinosaurs with healed broken legs. So,
Yeah.
but occasionally you find a dinosaur with some, clear evidence of why they died.
Right.
Well, Dolly is kind of sad.
Oh.
They think Dolly had a lung disease similar to Aspergillus.
Do they know what kind of dinosaur Dolly was?
She was a long-necked juvenile.
So like a brontosaurus.
Yeah.
Okay.
She was an adolescent, long-necked.
Sorry,
dinosaur.
I think they call them brachiosauruses now. I don't know.
No,
I lost track.
Not
years
even about to
ago.
guess.
They called them long-necked in the article. So anyway, so she spent the last part of her life just miserably, miserably sick and so forth. And it's really sad. And I had to read this, and I'm sitting through. They found evidence of fungal infections. They found things that looked like broccoli that had grown in her lungs from the infection
Yeah.
and so forth. And I have to say, my response was, Dolly the dinosaur died of COVID. Anyway, no, I feel very badly for Dolly the dinosaur.
I thought it was a fungal infection or something you said.
It was.
Yeah.
They think it was probably similar to the Aspergillus,
Oh.
which is a frequently lethal fungal infection.
Ooh.
So,
No bueno. Oh, poor Dolly.
Could be worse. Could be one of those cows making distiller's milk in the.
Oh my
Mm,
God.
whatever.
Yeah, no, I couldn't eat. That was ridiculous. Maybe we might have to do an episode on food conditions back in the early 1900s.
and today,
Yeah. No, we're heading back there. Lickety split.
Oh, yeah, no,
Yeah.
aggressively.
That's why the amount of.
and we've got something coming up on that too.
Okay.
So, anyway,
All right, so let's talk about Kitty Road Trip.
Yeah,
Road
so-
Trip. I love it. Love it.
anyway, a Maine family, right, long since given up on ever finding their poor cat. It's been 6 years since they saw their cat. It escaped on their daughter's 10th birthday.
Aw.
And they looked for it everywhere and put up signs and finally gave up. So, anyhow, 6 years after the fact, she gets a call from Florida. Cat's in Florida. So, anyway, they
But
said
yay
send it home.
microchips. Yeah.
Yay microchips. And the cat is headed home. The temporary foster said, I've interrogated the cat, but she's just not talking. So,
Fair.
anyway, I'd be much more impressed.
I think that's adorable. And I'm wondering if maybe she accidentally, like that Roadrunner that found its way,
Yeah.
up to Maine, was it? I don't remember. But anyway, there was that Roadrunner we talked about that
Yeah.
one time that found its way across country.
Yeah, I'd be way more impressed if there was any evidence the cat had tried to get home. But,
I'm wondering if it got stuck and then it had no idea where it was, so it was just wandering around Florida.
Lured into
the
someone's
neighbors
house
had
and
a
moved.
the
Yeah.
neighbors had a moving truck in front of their house.
Yeah.
The cat went in to see what was in the truck and wound up in Florida.
Right.
So, and anyway, that kind of thing happens. But yay that they got their kitty back.
Yeah, no, that's
So-
amazing.
Yeah, I'm very happy about it.
Yeah, no, I would be just floored to lose an animal and just say, wow, it's been gone
Yeah.
this long. It's probably
We've done all the things.
it's probably dead.
Yeah.
Fuck. And then 6 years later, out of the blue,
Kitty
hey,
cat.
your cat's still alive. Well, damn, that's
Yeah, there you
amazing.
go.
But again, that's why you need to microchip your animals,
Yep.
especially if they're prone to running or sneaking out the door, that kind of thing.
Or you know your cat or dog really well and know that you don't want them back.
No, we used to have a Maine Coon, not a big one. It was, but a little fluff ball, and he was about 10 pounds. So, on the smaller side for a Maine Coon. But anyway, and sometimes our door wouldn't latch properly, so it would open, and we'd come back, and he would just be laying in the sunshine in the door, being like, I ain't going out there. Boss, they went out. I told them not to because we had 4 cats. So the other 3 would be on the porch like, what? Oh
my God, I'm outside.
It's
Where's
so
the food?
scary.
Yeah.
And then he would just be laying in the doorway like, yeah, I told them not to go, but they did. So I figured I'd watch them from here and make sure they didn't get any trouble. But I'm not going out there. It's gross out there.
Yep.
He was an indoor cat and he knew it.
We
Had
had
nothing
one
to
in
do with the
Albuquerque who
outdoors.
just plain roamed. I mean, he was an unneutered male. But the best cat we ever had, we got because of him. She was his girlfriend, and he brought her home for dinner and showed her where he lived and how well he got treated when he went home.
Mm-hmm.
And so she wouldn't come anywhere near the door. So we fed them both outside, and we fed them really well and so forth. So 3 weeks later, she shows up totally pregnant and starving. And she comes to the door and wants to be let in. So we let her in. And for a month, she would not tolerate having a man in a room with her. She would literally, before we sold the house, there was still a footprint she left on the ceiling from climbing the corner and jumping over the intruding male. Anyway, she became my cat. And she had 3 beautiful kittens. Anyway, best cat ever.
Adorable.
Yeah.
All right.
Her name was Sandy.
All right. So we're doing a thing called Fun Phrases tonight, and I'm going to start this if you don't mind.
Sure.
So Asshole and I went to go pick up cigarettes today at the cheap store, and I'm looking at the sign, and it says, never slap a man who's chewing tobacco. And I'm looking at the sign, and I look at Asshole, and I'm like, is that sign threatening me? Like what is going on here? So I look it up on Google, and I type it in and say meaning, and it pops up and it says this was a quote by Will Rogers.
Yeah.
And what it means is if you slap a man chewing, you'll end up dirty.
Yeah, you will.
Because, they got the chewing tobacco in them.
Yeah.
But it's also related to the concept of catching a tiger by its tail.
Okay.
So, yeah, no, but I was just totally like, that seems really offensive. Like, I'm not sure what you're trying to say
it.
here. But the
Anybody
intent,
who'd ever known somebody who chewed tobacco would have understood immediately why you don't.
Well, and I have a friend that chews tobacco, but I never would think that because she chews tobacco not to slap her. Like, I wouldn't want to anyway, but it specifically says, it doesn't say never slap a person, it says never slap a man. So I was like, is that some sort of because girls tend to be the ones slapping in my mind, right? Because guys tend to punch each other, I feel like.
Okay.
But this is how I was raised, right? Like you're raised, like girls slap, guys punch. Like, that was how I was raised.
I'd rather be punched than slapped.
Oh, every time. But no, it was just fucking ridiculous. Like, I was just totally
but I was
blown
interested
away.
when you were looking it up that it's actually making more of a point about disposable income and like.
Yeah, somebody else had made, there was some random comments that people made about it, and somebody was saying it means they have disposable income and can whatever, because
tobacco
tobacco's
products have
expensive.
historically been
expensive and excise
display
tax.
of wealth.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, I had 21 phrases. Everybody's heard them all. But I found it interesting that all of these phrases occur in Shakespeare. Like wild goose chase, green-eyed monster, seen better days, off with his head, forever and a day, good riddance, lie low. That's Greek to me. Let's see, you've got to be cruel to be kind. That one was kind of interesting. Love is blind, yeah. Be all, end all, yep. Break the ice. That one I was surprised by. Let's see, we got 3 or 4 more to go. What have we got? Heart of gold, that's obvious. Kill with kindness. Knock, knock, who's there? Live long day. So, anyway.
Yeah.
The game is afoot. That's another good one.
All right. And those are all from Shakespeare.
Well, they all occurred in Shakespeare, right? So they originated
Around then, anyway.
around then. Yeah, they were in use at that time. It's unlikely he made them. He may have made up some of them. Anyway.
Fair. No, that's yeah, this is a slow fucking news day, people. Jesus.
No
fuck.
kidding.
Okay, so let's move on to Boomer Rex's About Damn Time.
Oh my God. So, less than a month after being sworn into office as Attorney General of Virginia, Jason Miraz has been caught up in a scandal over Trump's big lie. The top deputy overseeing election issues for Virginia's new Republican Attorney General resigned Thursday after the Washington Post questioned the office about Facebook posts that she made praising the January 6th rioters, falsely claiming Donald Trump won the 2000 election, saying that the riots were a peaceful demonstration. And when it was clear it wasn't, she began to espouse the standard conspiracy theories. It was led by Antifa and BLM as a
And the
false flag.
FBI
Yeah,
and
just,
blah, blah, blah.
Whoever you need it to be.
So, anyway.
The fun thing about fascism, truth doesn't matter.
So, anyhow,
You can
all
read the
gone,
news.
resigned.
Good.
Yeah, so I would say 1 down, but we're up to 3 or 4.
That's
But, hey, gone.
All right. Tell me about your dumbass of the day, and then I have one.
You have one too? Okay. The son of a Florida congressman,
Oh, yeah.
right, walks into a Miami commission meeting, says to one of the commissioners, "Hey, pussy, you remember me?" and then slaps him upside the head. And you sit there and go, who do these people think they
How
are?
do you not get glassed right then and there? There's a
Yeah.
little glass
Wait,
on the table.
so he just randomly walked up to this dude.
Said, "Hey, pussy, do you remember me?" and slapped him upside the head.
No,
Did
this wasn't a stranger. They do vigorously know each other.
So anyway,
Whatever.
Yeah, no.
just
The better
what
part's
did you
coming.
think was going to happen?
And then what
Right?
happened?
And who do you think you are that you can get away with shit like
just
this?
like Gates, the son of Florida royalty.
Yeah, well, fuck you.
All right.
Anyway,
The Kennedys behaved poorly too. I wonder why.
he was charged with 1 misdemeanor count of battery, bail set at $1,500.
Come on.
And he had an argument with
Yes.
a police officer. The police officer didn't have the authority to detain him. Well, the police
First off,
officer,
hold up, pause, time out. No, but he has a whole belt full of whoop ass, and it's not going to take any of it really. But I encourage it this one time.
yep,
Use
should
all
have
of
tried it all. Let's see if the bear spray works.
You want to prove your police
No,
department is
tase him,
racist?
tase him.
Yeah,
the
shout
son of a
taser, taser,
congressman.
taser, and shoot the son of a bitch.
You want to prove your department isn't racist?
Yep,
Tase the son of a congressman till his balls pop.
yep.
I'm
Well,
down.
while you're at it, tase him in the balls. But anyway, no, the cop detained him until the local cop arrived. They have a
Of course.
cooperation agreement.
I love this.
usually
So
Yeah,
the cop that he
yeah.
said didn't have authority is, of course, the arresting officer.
Yes.
So,
Having been the witnessing officer, yeah. No, God
Yeah.
fucking damn. No, this is so dumb. Because I remember this shit from growing up.
yeah.
And like, yeah, this is right up there with the if you ask undercover cops, they're cops, they gotta tell you. Like, sure, motherfucker, go for that. Let me know how that works.
They're undercover. They're not going to tell you shit. Like, that's the whole point.
They do have a hard time selling drugs to other people. Not that you should use that against them.
Well, and they should have.
Yeah.
So,
No, I agree, but it's also like why feds do a better job at flipping people. there.
Sure.
Because they give infinitely less fucks.
All right, are we ready for my dumbass of the day?
Absolutely.
Oh, this is fun. So y'all know crazy Kanye West.
Oh my
We
God.
love this man.
Good
so
candidate for
much.
dumbass of the day
I
every
like the
day.
2 good songs he did.
He tweeted today, and I'll give you the background to this later, okay? But I want you guys to hear
We'll
this
start at the
tweet.
stupid.
Yeah, let's start with the retardedness that's going on in this. And come on, Billy, we love you. Please, he's talking to Billie Eilish. Please apologize to Trav. He's talking about Travis Scott. And to the families of the people who lost their lives, no one intended this to happen. Trav didn't have any idea of what was happening when he was on stage and was very hurt by what happened. And yes, Trav will be with me at Coachella, but now I need Billy to apologize before I perform. Oh dear heart, please.
Yeah.
Please don't perform. Everyone will be happier. Anyway, Billy's response was literally never said anything about Travis, was just helping a fan. So here's the story. The story is that in the middle of Billie Eilish, her recent concert, where she just started a world tour, one of her fans near the front row had an asthma attack and needed an inhaler and didn't have hers, dropped hers, whatever. So Billie Eilish stopped the show and said, can we get her an inhaler, or him, I don't know. Can we get them an inhaler? Blah, blah, blah. And, people were getting kind of whatever. And she's like, hold on, everybody. We take care of our people and we're waiting for this to be handled.
Vicious attack on
this
somebody not named in the statement.
Against Travis Scott, who has a history of encouraging bad behavior, setting up, not having enough security, not having this, not having that. He's been charged.
Telling them to ignore security.
He's been charged multiple times. And then recently, obviously, as a lot of people know, we talked about it on the show when it happened, had a bunch of people killed, including a young 9-year-old boy at one of his concerts because he was too busy singing and couldn't hear and couldn't see and excuse after excuse after excuse.
Obviously, Mr. Scott's a mediocre performer if the performance takes up that much of his mental real estate.
Yeah. Just
I want to talk about the bad parenting that gets a 9-year-old to a concert.
Especially down front.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the mosh pit. Never take your kids into a mosh pit,
You'd
dum-dums.
think.
That's why they have seated areas. But anyway, the point is that Kanye, first of all, has no space in any of this discussion to begin with. Second of all,
He's borrowing trouble here.
Kanye's 44. Billie Eilish is 20. She is a young lady, and he has no right trying to be shitty about something so stupid.
And if he's upset about this, since
But
they're
he's
both...
a big tough man and she's a little girl.
And the thing that bothers me is that
Kanye
this
just
isn't...
got punked by whichever Kardashian.
Yeah, this isn't the first young lady that he's fucked with. We all remember the MTV Music Awards where he got up on stage and was being shitty. And it needs to stop.
He's a dickhead.
He's an asshole, and he's a piece of shit, and somebody needs to, I don't know, slap a piece of duct tape over his mouth or something. Stop fucking talking.
No, this is insane. Since they're both headlining Coachella this year, he could have easily reached out at his people, reach out to her people, and go, right, are you picking on my man here? And I just fucking dumb. And
why does he feel like this is any of his business anyway? That's my thing. It's
because part of this is promotion. So
Yeah.
Well, all I'm
Gets
saying
his name in the paper.
is I love you, Billie Eilish, and fucking keep the course. Don't apologize to the
Coachella,
shithead.
but
No, you do you, girl,
I
and
really
I
hate
love
slow
you,
news
and I
days.
support you.
I don't
but
know what Coachella is.
a big
It's
gathering
a
of
big,
nonsense.
yeah,
Okay.
it's dumb.
Okay. You see how
all
much
right.
I follow pop culture?
Yeah.
The only reason why I know about this is because Asshole told me, or I never would have
Oh.
Yeah.
paid attention.
Well, he reads more than we do, so he runs across these things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do run out of stories, and then I have to go sports or entertainment.
I actually feel like the only reason why he mentioned it is because I really do love Billie Eilish.
Yes.
I adore her. So I think that's the only reason.
Even
why
I like that. I like a handful of songs. I don't know much of them, but
Yeah.
I don't listen to much music. So
I have not heard a song of hers that I
Cool.
did not like.
That's
Yeah,
fair.
That
but still, the whole thing's just dumb, which is part of what makes me go, this is just bullshit, cheap heat. Right.
Yeah.
So fuck them. I mean,
I never do entertainment and sports.
yeah, what other stories?
Just scroll down to science.
Yeah, I've read all the science. No,
Yeah,
I'm,
I know. I understand.
like, that's what
Well,
I can't wait for
crap.
getting the website up. So like I can just have this like crawler of everything on all the places.
There you go.
But I'm not going to go to
Stumble across
Right Wing
this,
Watch or any of the
this,
stuff
this.
that's designed to make me crazy. But
Oh, I hear the goose out there trying to join us again.
Yeah,
I run through
he's
We
in
may have
tunnel
to
bug.
We may have to make him an honorary member of the team.
he
No,
won't be more quiet in here.
no,
Oh.
and their poops are really gross and stinky.
Yeah, okay.
Anyway, updates with Boomer Rex. Tell me what's going on with Omicron.
Well, I've already said we're dropping the mask mandate too early. Folks, the surge isn't over yet. We have just begun to turn down. Wear your damn mask, and to hell with the ones who don't, right? Gives you most of the protection you would have had anyway, and if they don't get protected, tough luck.
Yeah.
And I see today that the U.S. has confirmed a highly pathogenic bird flu in an Indiana turkey farm.
Which flavor?
Fun.
What?
Which flavor?
Typically bird flus are H5N1.
Yes.
I know, you get to bubble up and I get to go shop. I hate that. Anyway,
Get out.
again, it's not a human pathogen yet.
Barnabas.
But you get a big bird flu infection
Get to
going.
fucking
There'll be
work.
How
lots
do
of
you find out-
opportunities for it to jump the.
How do you find out if you're not prone to it or whatever, immune to it? Or
It has
whatever?
to do with your birth date.
Yeah, you want.
Birth date?
Yeah, it has to do with previous.
If you were born before 1968, you have almost certainly been exposed to a relative of H5N1 and will have at least some immunity to it greater than those who were born after 68. So
okay.
it's a really simple list. There are only two flavors. If it's one flavor, you guys do the shopping. If it's the other flavor, I do the shopping. And you live in your bubble. So anyway.
Well, but now we have masks, so it should be fine. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely did away with our flu season this year.
Oh yeah.
We had no flu because we were wearing masks. Oh my God, masks work. Jump back.
Mm-hmm.
No, but it's like the discussion because loads of the talking heads are saying the same thing. It's time to get back to normal because they're bored. And this hasn't gotten cool. This isn't going to become a real, like, the Black
Yeah.
Death. So all those graphics packages are garbage.
Yeah.
All right. Tell me what's going on with climate weirding.
Well, the good news is we now have a satellite that can actually see methane
Ooh.
evolving into the atmosphere.
We're going to find out which oil company has
methane is
anti-sat capability.
Methane is a much worse warming gas than carbon dioxide. So anyway, at least if you find the plumes, you have a chance of going. And there are a lot of places in the U.S. where they're supposed to cap the damn plume. So if they're not capping it, you go out and find the living snot out of them until they cap it. But
I bet Gazprom's got
at least knowing where it's coming from, right?
Yeah. Until Gazprom shoots it down.
Yeah. Well, you'll have to talk to Roscosmos, who has all the rockets.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. Did Russia ever make a plane-based anti-air or anti-satellite?
I don't know.
So anyway,
Okay,
No,
so
this is important because we were
Yeah.
discussing the other day the article about there's just places where the pipes are left open because there's no incentive to catching methane.
Yeah.
It's just a problem.
Yep. So, anyway.
Fair.
In other climate weirding news, French President Emmanuel Macron called Tuesday for a renaissance of the country's nuclear industry. He wants to build 14 new reactors to power
That'll be
their
interesting.
transition.
We should, we as a country and us especially, should watch the shit out of this
To
and
see-
look for numbers
Yeah.
because the numbers everyone here has for nukes is bullshit.
Yeah. So, anyway, they have a very aggressive regulatory agency.
No, that's why because all of our numbers are assuming that they were built overnight and on budget.
Yeah.
And that's insane.
Well, their latest one is 3 times over budget and 11 years late.
All right, but
So, but as long as they don't put it online non-functional.
yeah.
So anyway, there's one more I found interesting. Engineers have found a catalyst that will let you sort of recycle carbon dioxide.
Yep.
Right? Screw some hydrogens back onto it and turn it into methane or butane, or where you'd really like to go is to a liquid that stores nicely,
Like
right?
gasoline.
Like octane and heptane and so on. So anyhow, it's an interesting idea. The only way it makes sense is if you recycle the carbon dioxide in a continuous loop. And you've got to have a source of hydrogens, which to me says, electrical separation of water,
Yeah.
right? But you might be able to find some places where this is not the dumbest idea anybody's ever had.
Yeah.
So, but again, you have to capture the carbon dioxide every time. Well, not every time, right? If you recycle 50% of it, that's helpful, right? But it's got to be 50% of something big.
No, but this was one of the ones that looked like it had a chance of actually taking some carbon out the air,
Yeah.
which we are going to need a lot
Well,
of.
because
that.
they had a use for the end product.
Aye, that's all there's
Yeah.
ever going to be.
Yep. But again, if you take a bunch of carbon dioxide out of the air, turn it into gasoline and put it in cars, guess where the carbon dioxide winds up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So anyway, you've got to recycle it. But anyway, an interesting idea. So I put it on there. It's worth thinking about. How would you can you find a use for this technology?
Well, there's whichever of the things that when you get it wet, it absorbs carbon dioxide, and you heat it, it releases it.
There you go. Yep.
So,
Yep. Carbonates do that.
yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
Anyway.
No, but that means at scale, we could actually start doing some interesting things and avoid stuff like digging for more oil and.
True. So, meanwhile, in Florida.
Oh, Jesus, fuck. What have you done now, Florida?
Right?
No.
Somebody's working on getting on the dumbass du jour list.
I mean, it's Florida. I'm betting it's more than one.
Yeah.
One of them's going to die in a fucking
Half the male
safe.
population.
Okay.
So that's it. I'm toast. I'm out of paper.
Yeah, fuck. But you actually had a Florida thing.
Yeah, no.
I told you it was a goddamn dead
Yeah.
day.
Yeah, so let's get into taxes again. We've been talking about
The 50s.
we were talking about taxes at the beginning, and then we got into the 40s, right? So we were talking about like kind of the first tax whatevers, then we got into the 40s, and we got into the 50s. Tonight we're going to discuss the 60s taxes.
And my vague recollection of the numbers on the 50s was taxes was kind of going up. Right, we'd hit the top marginal 90%. Because I remember 70s and 80s being the big numbers in the 40s.
Right.
So we're still doing the good things. Rot may have set in, and I'm sure we're finding all sorts of carve
Right, but
Well,
your top tier was still paying 91% tax rate
Yeah,
Right.
at the end of
That was their
the
marginal
50s.
rate, about
Yeah.
whatever it was, 5 million.
that there is nothing legal or ethical you can pay an American for that's worth more than X.
So the government had a lot of money and was doing a lot of good things, like
Right.
building the interstate.
Investing in things.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, a lot of good things were going on. Okay, so the Revenue Act of 1962.
Whoa, they skipped a year?
That was.
Holy shit.
It's like every other year-ish on average. Investment tax credit established a 7% investment tax credit. Information reporting required information reporting to government for interest and dividend payments. The Revenue Act of 1964 had individual tax rates. It reduced individual tax rates. The top rate dropped from 91 to 70%.
I think I found where it broke.
Yeah,
Corporate
we got the rock
tax
set, man.
rates reduced top corporate.
Wait a second. We're bombing the shit out of somewhere in 62. Right?
It was a country only 30 people had ever been to.
Yeah, fine. But I'm just saying there's a war on and
Not a real, no, the war. The war was the 50s.
like
We were
Gulf of
building
Tonkin is
airplanes like they were
57.
going
Yeah.
out of style. We were building reactors. We
Yeah.
were, Yeah. No, we had a real enemy.
That didn't go anywhere post 50s, so. And we have an actual hot thing going on.
Yes, but nobody's involved in it.
Fine.
Again, the Vietnam era was not was not great for America, and I'm not belittling the service of those who went. And I think 62 is a little early.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, I know we're all in the region, but.
Okay,
Yeah.
so back to 1964. Corporate tax rates reduced top corporate tax rate from 52% to 48%. Corporate estimated tax payments phased in acceleration of corporate estimated tax payments through 1970. Minimum standard deduction created minimum standard deduction of $300 plus $100 exemption, total of $1,000 maximum.
Okay. Yeah. 64 were still advisors.
Yeah.
The Tax Adjustment Act of 1966. Corporate estimated tax payments accelerated scheduled acceleration of corporate estimated tax payments. The Revenue and Expenditure Control Act of 1968. Individual tax surcharge created temporary 10% income tax surcharge on individuals through June 30th, 1969. Corporate tax surge created temporary 10% income tax surge on corporations through June 30th, 1969. Excise taxes delayed scheduled reduction in telephone and auto excise taxes.
So that sounds like a reaction to Vietnam.
Yeah.
And the Tax Reform Act of 1969. They did a lot of shit. Personal exemption phased in increase in personal exemption amount from $600 to $750. Investment tax credit, repealed investment tax credit. Minimum standard deduction, increased minimum standard deduction from $300 plus $100 per capita.
Oh, shit, yeah.
Total maximum of $1,000 to $1,000. Standard deduction phased in increase in percentage standard deduction from 10% to 15%. Income tax surcharge, temporarily extended income tax surcharge of 5% annual rate through June 30th, 1970.
Yeah, in 64 we had 2,300 advisors and the necessary support, so 23,000 total versus 68's 58,000, 528,000.
Yeah.
Minimum taxes established individual and corporate minimum taxes. Tax rate schedule established new tax rate schedule for single payers, for single taxpayers. Excise taxes delayed schedule reduction in telephone and auto excise taxes. Maximum tax rate lowered maximum tax rate on earned income from 70 to 50%.
Why didn't we drop fake bombs on the fake things?
All right, do you want to do what years do we want to look at for the tax rates? Do you want to do like 1962 since that's when it was changed from the previous one we did?
Yeah.
Yeah, 62 and 69.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. 1962 tax rates.
But I also think this is when we're really inventing the concept of accountants and...
Yeah.
$0, 20%. $2,000, 22%. $16,000, 50%.
16,060.
$100,000, 89%, and $200,000 was still at $200,000 plus was still at 91% tax rate. Can you do what 2,000 and what 200,000 would be in today's money?
Sure. 16,000 is 142,000 change. Call it 149,000.
Okay.
And would you want 2,000?
Yeah.
Is 18,000. Call it 19,000. And what was the other number you wanted?
200,000.
3 million.
$1.8 million.
Okay, so we're talking millionaires and up are paying 91%.
Yeah.
Still. Cool. But that's a huge difference. 200,000 to 1.9.
Yeah.
You said million. That's crazy.
Well, and so like the 80s, I feel is when we're really going to see the big switch. 70s and 80s. I think 80s is going to be when it becomes widespread that the rewards and bonuses are paid out in stock, so they're capped at the capital gains tax rate.
Right. Okay. So let's move on to what we're looking at in 1969.
Yes.
So again, the numbers I'm giving you are single tax brackets. Okay. So now $0 is charged at 15% tax. $500 is the new up, next one up from 0, and that's at 15%. And we've been doing 16. 16,000 is at 42% now. And 100,000 is at 70%, and everybody above that is paying 70%.
All right. So 1969 median income is about $9,400. So what numbers did you want?
You said medium income is $9,400.
Mhm.
Okay, so they're going to be taxed at 28%. So if you could give me $500 in today's money and then $100,000 in today's money from 1969.
$500 works out to be 4,000 round numbers.
Okay.
3,830. And 100,000.
Mm-hmm.
$766,070.84.
Okay, so still large chunks of money.
Mm-hmm.
And even above what we have is like,
We max out at 400 and change.
yeah, and 500,000 is kind of like the most you can make without going
The most you can make and
into-
have a real job.
right, without going into the realm of becoming a millionaire.
Scumbaggery with money.
Right,
Oh, no.
exactly.
I was saying that, like, actually have a job that requires, a work that can be viewed by others.
Right.
Not moving piles of money.
Right.
Or again, top line entertainers, and that's a whole other ass thing.
Yeah.
Fair.
So what we're seeing is the beginning of the rot setting in at the top, right? They've got lots of money, and they're talking to senators and so forth. At that stage, it probably really was bribes, right? So
Well, and that's what I was saying when you walked off was that, right, I think in the 70s, we're going to find out the bosses start doing the tax bullshit,
Yeah.
right, and paying themselves bonuses and stocks.
yeah,
And I think in the 80s, that just becomes sort of standard at a certain level. And it makes sense, because if you can transfer it over to wealth, you only have to pay the capital tax, right, capital gains tax.
yeah.
Do we want to press on forward and do the 70s?
No, let's save it.
Okay.
Right. So we've seen the beginning of the rot.
Mm-hmm.
Bottom tax rates are staying pretty stable. Top tax rates are coming down.
Well, they worked harder.
Oh yeah, right.
Because
Absolutely.
America's a meritocracy.
And their work was worth more, and
Yeah.
which is all bullshit. So
Well, that's
this
why-
is the dominionist
Yeah.
nonsense. So anyway,
No, what I would love to do is all these people who make $500,000 and say that, oh, flipping burgers is easy. Okay, go do it for a fucking day. Tell me how that turns out. Do it. I dare you. I've done it. It's not fucking fun.
No, the entire concept of
Not fucking easy either.
low skill work is entirely classist.
Yeah,
Yep.
because you here's the thing. There really is no such thing as low-skilled work because all jobs require certain fucking skills.
It's the same amount of time. Everyone gets the same 24 hours in a day.
Yep.
Working 40 hours a week ought to be enough to pay for food and
And
a
a
house
Yep.
and a tiny family. Yeah. Or at least that was the original point.
And good schools
Yeah.
for the kids.
Yeah. The bosses can do it on the bosses can do it on their own. We saw with John Deere, it took them less than a day to kill one of their VPs running a machine that he had probably never seen. And they're running it right. They will never make up the lag until they can produce new structures. Right. That's the downside. This is why just in time is such a stupid idea.
Mm-hmm.
It was entirely a way to get the Chinese engaged in international trade so we could use it as a cudgel. This is a mistake.
Well, and look what it's done to us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So anyway, yep, that's what's going on, folks. Is don't be shitty to the person who makes your burgers because otherwise there's not going to be anyone to make your fucking burgers.
And that's
And
an
then you'll be
outcome I'm
sad.
perfectly comfortable
Oh no,
with.
I hope they all leave their jobs.
Yeah.
Fuck them.
Well, it means anyone that can field 36 competent human beings can bring the United States to a screeching halt. There's only about 12 overpasses or major rail ties or interchanges that you'd have to break, and we will be forever trying to get them fixed.
Fair. All right, so there's your bummers for this evening,
Don't cripple
folks.
infrastructure of the internet.
And tomorrow we will get into the 70s and the taxes and what was going on. So we are progressively showing you, how things are changing and shifting and a little bit about what's going on during these time frames. So hopefully people can understand where, this rot is kind of setting
What was
in.
going on
And
in the 70s? Seriously, the only frame of reference I have for the 70s is Three's Company, and I don't think
Yeah,
that's
no idea. That's about it.
all right, so we should look into like 5 things that was happening in the 70s.
Yeah.
Fucking go.
Yeah, I mean, cocaine and disco, but again, not very helpful.
Yeah, I think kind of like the extent of my 70s is I've watched that
Club
70s
54,
show.
Studio 54, whatever it is, some number 54.
But
Studio
anyway.
54.
That's what I thought.
All right, so don't forget to comment, like, subscribe if you want to join us on Patreon. Remember, you have to go to our Facebook and click on the newest pregame show, and that'll take you to our Patreon page and allow you to join us. That's BoomerRexTonight, no spaces. You can also go to the other BoomerRex. They're both us, so don't be worried.
Send money for the airship.
Yeah, send money for Barnabas, send money, become a pirate, become a heathen, whatever you want. The path of the
I'm an
Barnabas.
airship. I'll go make that lady in Texas wildly uncomfortable.
So anyway, we love you all, and we'll see you back here tomorrow night on Boomer Rex tonight.
Yeah.
Bye, internet.
Good night.